Hello and welcome to Trish Polish. I'm Trish and my goal is to swatch as much of the nail polish in Japan as I possibly can. If that sounds like something you'd also be interested in, please consider subscribing. If not, that's okay too. It's still nice to see you. Before we get into today's video, I did want to say a quick thank you for your patience the past couple of weeks. My husband and I celebrated our 4-year anniversary and we took a lovely trip to Mount Fuji, and it was all in all a wonderful 2-week vacation. But I'm back. And we have more polish to go through. And I'm really sorry it was in the middle of Pochacco's polishes. Anyway, with that in mind, today we're looking at the last 5 polishes of Pochacco's line from Friend Nail. I explained a little bit about Pochacco in my last video, so please be sure to check that out. So I won't go into as much detail about him today, but really quickly, he's this cute little doggo who bears a striking resemblance to Snoopy. He is apparently 4 cups of ice cream tall, and he loves sports. The first 5 polishes in Pochacco's line were called Prism polishes because they are a super clear jelly with a ton of iridescent flakies in them. With that in mind, today's polishes are on the other end of the spectrum, so they're not sheer polishes. They may or may not have iridescent glitter in them. They do have hollow in them, but they are a textured finish polish. As usual, after these swatches, I will give a little bit more information about the brand as well as pricing and availability and kind of what I think about it. But I've talked enough, so let's get into the swatches. First up today, we have the shade Sweet Sugar. This polish is essentially an off-white crelly base with a ton of little tiny micro iridescent flakies. It is going to dry down to a textured finish just like all of the polishes that we will look at today, and this one is going to end up looking exactly like a sugar cube on your fingernails. In the first coat it did go on a little sheer, so I did decide to go in for 2. You could probably get away with this one in 1 coat if you wanted to have a sheer textured look, but I decided to go in for 2 because I wanted to give it like that full sugar cube effect. But I gotta say, I was really impressed with the coverage on this polish, especially considering that this polish is only $1 and it's a white crelly. I thought coverage was really good. And in my personal opinion, 2 coats looks the best. I think 3 would be just a little much. I've never seen a polish that looked exactly like sugar. This is it. Personally, and I'll go ahead and get this out of the way now, I don't think that I would wear this by itself as a textured polish. Probably I would put on a thick glossy top coat to smooth out some of that glitter. And here is Sweet Sugar in 2 coats. And here is Sweet Sugar in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. Next up is the shade Mint Sugar. This polish is a mint green crelly base with a ton of little tiny silver micro glitters and the same textured finish as the last polish. This polish was really sheer here on the first coat, but it did build up nicely in 2, and with this color base, I feel like you can really see the glitters pop a lot more than with the white. So you end up with a polish that kind of looks like green sprinkles. It's really cool. In the second coat, you can still see a little hint of the visible nail line, but that doesn't bother me at all. I think it really, I don't think this polish is supposed to be 100% opaque. I could be wrong, but I like it in 2 coats. You could try for 3, but this polish honestly has so much going on in it. I feel like 3 coats would be just a little too thick. So the first 5 polishes in Pochacco's line really remind me of summer, but these polishes are so springy. So I know I sound like a broken record, but I think it's really interesting that a dollar store nail polish decided to think outside the box and do something with a textured finish. I think it's really cool. And here is Mint Sugar in 2 coats. And here is Mint Sugar in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. Next up is the shade Sakura Sugar. This one is a baby pink crelly with the same tiny little silver micro glitters as Mint Sugar, but it's got hollow in it, y'all. There's little tiny hollow glitters sprinkled throughout as well, and I think there may even be some iridescent glitters in here. This one is packed. I mean, the hollow glitter is kind of sparse, but it still kind of looks like a birthday party on your nails. This is such a birthday party color, for 7-year-old me, but now me, also thinks this is a total Trish birthday party color. I don't know what it was about this one, but I wasn't happy with this one in 2 coats and I wanted to see what it looked like in 3, so I decided to go in for a 3rd coat here. I mean, I totally could have stopped at 2 coats. Looking at it now, I think it was fine, just a little sheer, but I was really curious to see if it would become too thick if I put on 3 coats or if I could cover up the visible nail line in 3 coats. Anyway, yeah, it's a little thick and I probably should have stopped at 2 coats. I mean, it looks fine in 3, but it also looked fine in 2. I guess it's up to personal preference. I don't know, but we get 3 coats today. Surprisingly, considering everything that's going on in these polishes, they weren't like really difficult to remove. They came off pretty easy and with minimal struggle. This color is such a fun bubblegum pink. I don't know, it's like funfetti on your nails, only pink, and this was my 2nd favorite polish out of all of the ones that we did today because, well, I mean, look at it. Here is Sakura Sugar in 3 coats. And here is Sakura Sugar in 3 coats with a glossy top coat. Next up, we have Butter Sugar. This one is a yellow acrylic, and it has the same iridescent, hollow, and silver glitters as Sakura Sugar. I think out of all of the ones that we've looked at today, this one covered the most in the 1st coat than any of the others, and I gotta say, for a yellow acrylic, that's pretty impressive. I mean, it's not opaque by any means, but there's still, you can definitely tell that there is a yellow polish on my fingernails and that my nails aren't just stained. So when the texture starts to pop out on this one, it reminds me of yellow cake mix, like the yellow cake mix like from Duncan Hines or something like that. And man, I wish it smelled like that too, because no guarantees I would not be drinking the nail polish. Don't drink nail polish, kids. I thought the opacity on this one was perfect in 2 coats, so I decided to leave it like that. I don't think you need to add a 3rd. Like, I feel like I made a mistake with Sakura Sugar and I probably should have stuck with 2 on that one as well. Okay, so in addition to reminding me of yellow cake batter, this one also reminds me of like a mix between Rainbow Bright's friend who is all dressed in yellow or Funshine Bear. For some reason, this one gives me like 80s children's toy vibes and I think it's really cool. Here is Butter Sugar in 2 coats. And here is Butter Sugar in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. And last but not least is Soda Sugar. Out of all of the polishes that we looked at today, I think this one is the most different. It is a light blue, almost like blue-green crelly, and instead of silver glitter, it's got like silver shimmer. It just really adds to that frothy, effervescent, summery, cold drink soda look of the polish, and I think it's really unique. I was really interested to see how this one would turn out once it dried because it doesn't look as textured as the other polishes, but it still is somehow. They're definitely not grainy polishes, and you can't tell that anything is going on as you're applying it. Like, they apply really smoothly, but you can see on all of these when they dry down, they give like a sandy, textured, bumpy, sugar-like finish. And I've said this like 100 times, but I think it's really cool. This one was also a little bit more sheer than all of the other polishes, and I'm pretty sure that's because it doesn't have like any thick glitter in it. Like, it's pretty much just a shimmer polish. So I did decide to go in for 3 coats on this one, and I think that was the right choice. It definitely doesn't feel as thick as Sakura Sugar did in 3 coats, and I think the coverage in 3 is optimal for the fizziness and frothiness of a soda-colored nail polish. I gotta say, I think this is my favorite one out of all of them today. And here is Soda Sugar in 3 coats, and Soda Sugar in 3 coats with a glossy top coat. So what do you think? Are you into textured polishes, or would you slap on a glossy top coat? Leave me a comment down below and let me know. I must admit, I'm a little torn. I think I would probably, I mean, I know myself, and I would probably pick at the texture if it wasn't completely smooth. Like, even now, like, one of my nervous habits is like rubbing the glossiness of my nail polish. Does that make sense? So I know if it was textured, I would probably pick at it. That doesn't mean I don't think it's cool. I think it's really, really cool, and like A+ to Friend Nails for thinking outside the box. I don't know that textured polishes are for me, but you know, it's still really cool. Like, I know the gimmicky part of the sugar polishes, the texture goes away if you slap on a glossy top coat, but hear me out. These polishes are actually really beautifully made, and it still looks amazing and candy-like and a little sugary even with a glossy top coat on. My favorite today was Soda Sugar because I feel like it really, really like drives home like the fizzy, sugary theme of the polishes, if you know what I mean. And I want to show it to you here in both its regular form and with a glossy top coat so you can see what I mean. It doesn't get rid of the effervescent lookingness of the polish if you put on a glossy top coat. I think it's really beautiful either way, but you know, I don't know. What do y'all think? Which one of these would you go for? Or do you not like any of them and you prefer the first 5 Prism polishes better? I'm up for discussion on this. And as always, a little bit more information about the brand. These do come in little tiny 5 milliliter bottles. They are sold for 100 yen, and they are available at Daiso stores nationwide in Japan. I'm not really sure whose polishes I'll do next, but I do have some really fun other brands coming up that are not dollar store brands. Whoa. But these are some really freaking adorable polishes, and I cannot wait to share them with you. So please be sure to check back for that because I promise it'll be worth your time. So that's going to be all from me today. Before you go, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It lets me know that I'm doing a good job. And if you'd like to hang out and talk some more about Japanese nail polish, Japan, or nail polish in general, please consider subscribing. I put out new videos every Monday. Thank you so much for watching, and y'all have a good week.